We're going to start today in butterfly shape, soles of your feet together, sitting up onto a pillow or something to elevate your hips a little, maybe placing blocks underneath your thighs or just to support the opening of your knees down towards the floor. And then take a hold of your feet, or maybe you're just allowing your arms to rest, hands onto the mat, and start to allow your head to round forward towards your toes. And if you like, you could bring a pillow or a block or something to rest your head onto. Just settle in, setting yourself up for this first shape. I practice today working with our kidney and urinary bladder meridian lines. So the meridian lines you can think of as energetic channels that run through your body. They're also used in Chinese medicine, acupuncture. And the kidney and urinary bladder meridian line is also associated with the element of water. In today's practice, aiming to remove any feelings of stagnation or feeling stuck at the moment, and instead encouraging more flow and fluidity through our bodies. It's also associated with the emotion of anxiety and fear. So if you've been feeling any of that lately, these postures will be great for helping to move that sensation, hopefully, and restore some flow and energy to our kidneys. But letting all of that to one side, just starting to drop into your practice by observing your own thoughts and observing your own emotions, how you're starting your practice today. And each breath allowing you to drop a little deeper into your practice, breathing in and out of your nose if you can. I really want to encourage this idea of Svadhyaya or self-study today. So being an observer, noticing all of the boxes, if you like, that we are packed into our experience, our conditioning, our belief systems, things like how we identify ourselves, what we believe to be true, our preferences, our likes and dislikes, our fears and imagination. We've got so many layers, but we often forget that that's not actually who we are. All of those boxes that we wrap ourselves in, we're actually that core divine hiding in the middle, pure consciousness. So today, just trying to become aware of all of these boxes that we're wrapped in. And as we start to be able to identify them and peel them away, we come closer to being able to identify with our true self. And just taking a few more deep breaths here, really letting the weight of your head help round your spine forward. And slowly start to uncurl your spine, bringing yourself upright, removing your blocks if you've supported the knees. Just taking a moment to close the knees towards one another, giving yourself a little hug, forehead resting onto your knees. And we're going to shift to face the long edge of your mat. Stay sitting up on a block or on a pillow to help elevate our hips. And bring your right heel in towards you. We're coming into half butterfly. You're going to take your right hand to the outside of your left leg, keeping your left leg extended long. And start to twist your torso towards your left leg. If your right knee or right thigh is high up away from the mat, perhaps propping it up with a pillow or a block. And if your hamstrings are a little tight, maybe a pillow or a block underneath your left knee. And then again, encourage your spine to round, your head to drop down towards the left knee. These half butterfly shapes, really great for aiding digestion. Also a really nice opening into the back of that left hamstring. If you find any issues with the left knee, feel free to tighten your left quad or maybe reduce the angle of your legs, how wide they are, making it less of an angle. And allowing yourself to drop into this shape. Poses tonight about targeting the kidney and urinary bladder meridian lines. As I said, these are the primary organs that help move water through our bodies. So in getting water flowing through the body, we can help to reverse any feelings of stagnation. I've been feeling a little bit stuck inside at the moment. Really looking after our kidney health today. Kidneys being really helpful in also filtering waste materials from food, medicines, whatever we've put into our body. Slowly start to uncurl your spine, bringing your shoulders back over your hips. And we'll switch to the other side, just drawing your left heel this time in towards your groin. Maybe propping up the left knee if it's far away from the ground. Maybe bringing a block underneath the right knee or a cushion if the hamstrings are tight. Take the left hand to the outside of your right leg, turning your torso, the middle of your belly button a little more over towards the right leg. And then starting to fold your way forward. You can always bring the sole of your right foot up onto the mat and give yourself your knee to rest your head on if you like. Knowing that your body might feel completely different from one side to the next. Finding your variation of this shape. Remembering our 3 principles of our Yin Yoga. The first, to come to our appropriate edge, using our breath as a guide, pausing at a place where we can still keep our breath calmly, fluidly flowing. Always looking for wide, sweeping sensations. If there's anything nervy or short or sharp sensations coming out of the shape, Second principle, to allow our muscles to be soft and to be still. Trying to take the effort out of the posture and just let yourself relax into it. Third principle, to hold each shape for a period of time. Holding the postures, helping that movement of energy to be coaxed deeper into the body and the organs. Also helping us to gain a willingness to just be. Seeing how you respond to that today and just observing, trying not to be judging of yourself, just getting to know all of the layers that you're wrapped in, any limiting beliefs. Slowly starting to uncurl your way out. Shoulders over hips, bringing yourself back to center, removing any props. We're going to move into dragonfly, so keep that pillow or bolster height underneath the hips. Find a forward tilt through your pelvis. And then maybe it's just fingertips on the mat. Maybe it's coming down onto your elbows. Maybe you'd like to bring a bolster or a pillow out in front of you to lie down onto, giving your forehead something to rest onto. The final posture, one day we take a hold of the feet, the ankles. If you've got a bolster, it can be nice to put it up on its high end to rest your head on. Just noticing your own edges, finding your first edge. In this shape again, if there's any issues with the knees, tighten your quads or perhaps bring your legs closer together. And then if the hamstrings are tight, perhaps propping up a couple of cushions or bolsters or blocks underneath your knees. This home practice, really not worried with what you use, just making sure that the shape is comfortable for your body. And allowing yourself to soften, drop inward. If you'd like to, perhaps visualizing the channel of the urinary bladder meridian. It starts at the inner corner of our eyes and travels down the nape of the neck, traveling down our back parallel to the spine, along the inner edges of the scapula, all the way down to the buttocks, and then down the backs of the legs to the outer edges of our feet. If it serves you, perhaps visualizing that line even though we're looking to find stillness here, Still an encouragement to move with your body. If your body allows you a second edge, go with it. Or if your body lets you know you've come too far, moving with that as well, coming out slightly. When you're ready, slowly coming up, releasing any of the props from underneath you. Take your left leg all the way to the back of your mat. We're going to release all the way around to lie down onto our bellies. Taking Advasana, bringing your left cheek, your left ear onto the mat. Reaching your arms alongside you, palms face up. Bringing your big toes to touch, letting your heels relax wide. And just letting your breath again flow in and out of your nose. These moments of stillness in this rebound shape, Advasana. A chance to again drop into observing your thoughts, observing your emotions, observing the energetic changes in your body. Being a witness to your practice. And we'll rise back up, bringing your hands underneath your shoulders to press up. We're going to move into an extended child's pose, big toes touch, knees nice and wide. If your forehead can't touch the ground, maybe bringing a block or a pillow underneath your head. If your sitting bones can't touch your heels, maybe bringing a cushion underneath your buttocks. Any beginners, I'd like you to just stay in your extended child's pose. For more advanced practitioners, shifting into your frog. Keeping your hips in line with your knees. Take your knees as wide as possible. Turn your toes out. Heels in line with the knees. Maybe bringing a couple of cushions to prop your chest up as you drop forward down onto the mat. Maybe stacking fists to rest your head onto. Just using whatever props you've got to make this shape yours. Perhaps both arms can reach long out in front of you, forehead to the mat. It's a beautiful opening for our adductors and groin. Slight back bend compressing our lower and upper back. Aiding digestion in this shape as well. If it served you, following that line of energy of the urinary bladder meridian, perhaps now visualizing the kidney meridian line, which starts at the bottom of our feet, travels up the inner ankles, the inner seam of the legs, then runs deep along the lumbar spine, the lower spine, up the midsection of the spine to the collarbone, thinking about that line of energy, perhaps visualizing movement, or just sending some breath and warmth down towards your adductors, inner thighs. Slowly bringing your hands back under your shoulders, really as gently as you can, pressing up. Shifting into child's pose, traditional child's pose, bringing your knees together. If you're in extended child's pose, also bring the knees together. Let your shoulders round forward over the fronts of the knees. Let your hands reach back towards your feet, palms face up. Let your forehead rest down onto the mat, or maybe onto a block or a book. Letting the head relax. Child's pose is a really nice soothing posture. Also providing a gentle stretch for our spine. An inward drawn attention. Keep observing. Exploring your relationship to self, often how we're being with ourselves, how we're being with others. Gently uncurling, bringing yourself upright, shoulders over hips for a moment. Take a breath and then shift forward to tabletop. We're going to step the right foot into our dragon lunge, right foot to the outside of the right hand. You could come into a high lunge, hands up onto the right thigh. If the back left knee needs, you could fold over the mat for a little bit of extra padding under the left knee. If the lunge feels too deep, again, maybe a couple of blocks or big books underneath your hands. Or if the body allows, maybe dropping down onto your elbows. Dragon pose, great deep hip and groin opener. Again, finding your first edge, knowing you don't have to come to your greatest depth. You want to work with your body. Often, as we reside in this physical world of mind and matter, we seek answers externally and accept others' portrayal of how things should be, how life should be. But does this really serve you? Everything you desire or need already there within you. Dropping your attention inward. Connecting into the space, the gap between your thoughts, the gap between your breaths. Tuning into those points. And if you've lowered down onto your elbows, gently coming back up onto your hands, we're going to take some height, so maybe blocks or books or whatever you've got, as we move into our dragon splits, heel toe the right foot in between your hands. You're going to start to send your hips back, keeping that right leg extended long. This might be where you pause. Otherwise, more advanced practitioners can start to slide the right heel forward. Finding your dragon splits. Maybe you bring a bolster or a couple of pillows underneath your right leg. And you can stay up onto your fingertips. Or if it's there for you, you could start to fold forward Dropping your head down towards your right knee. So remembering all of the variations, you might just be in your runner's stretch, kneeling up high on the left knee, right leg straightening back. We're going to be here for about 2.5 minutes. Being kind with your body. And at the moment, might be feeling a little bit like a lot of things are out of our control, being in isolation. I read this the other day, which I thought was quite great. The things that we can still control: our being, our beliefs, our attitude, our thoughts, our perspective, our being choice, how honest we are, what books we read, how often we exercise, how we treat ourselves, how many risks we take, the type of food we eat, how kind we are to others, how we interpret situations, how we express our thoughts, whether or not we ask for help, how many times we smile, who we associate ourselves with, what we do with our spare time. There's a few more that will start to come out of this pose, gently coming back up onto fingers. Very gently rock yourself forward into dragon lunge for a moment, and then step your front foot all the way to the back foot. Lie down onto your belly for Sphinx. Let the front of your hips be nice and heavy. Let your elbows be slightly forward of your shoulders, and then draw your shoulders back. Press your heart to the front of the mat. Let your spine be nice and long. And those few last things we still have within our control. How often we say, I love you. How much time we waste worrying. The amount of effort we put forth. How often we think about our past. Whether or not we judge other people. How often we give time to appreciate life. And whether or not we try again after a setback. So all of those things still within our control. Gently coming down out of your Sphinx. Resting into Advasana. Bringing your right cheek, right ear onto the mat. Arms long. Big toes touching. Some breath into the back of your belly. Realizing every day all of those things we have a choice about. Letting that help you feel a little bit more empowered, less stagnant in our current situation. Take a few breaths, breathing into the back side of your body. Feeling your lower back expand, back of your ribs, back of the shoulder blades, filling with breath. And as you exhale, letting your breath release out, softening the back of the shoulders, back of the ribs, your lower back. Taking a few more breaths. And pressing yourself back up to hands and knees. We switch into our dragon lunge on the left side. Left foot stepping to the outside of the left hand. Help the foot forward if you need. Fold over the mat if you want some extra padding under the right knee. Use your cushions, your blocks, whatever you need. Or maybe coming into high dragon, hands onto the front thigh if that feels better than low dragon, hands to the mat. Or if the body allows, lowering to your elbows. And trying to keep that front left knee directly above the left ankle. Finding your first edge. Choose either to keep the crown of your head extending forward, or if you like, let the head release. As we hold here, keep noticing the moments of space in between your thoughts. Or perhaps those moments of pause at the bottom of your exhale or the top of your inhale. And we start to shift into our dragon splits, bringing your weight back up onto your hands, maybe some props underneath the hands, heel toe your left foot in between your hands. Start to straighten the left leg long, bringing your hips up and back, maybe pausing here in this runner's stretch. Perfectly valid shape, stretching into the back of the left hammy, or maybe sliding down into your dragon splits. Dragon splits, the deepest hip flexor stretch. So use your props accordingly, maybe a cushion or two underneath you, underneath that left thigh, holding up on your fingertips, or maybe encouraging a folding forward. Just noticing in this challenging shape what behavior arises, what emotions arise. Beneath every behavior, there is a feeling, and beneath every feeling is a need. And when we meet that need, rather than focus on the behavior, we begin to deal with the cause, not the symptom. I really enjoyed discovering this quote. A reminder to express and observe our feelings, our emotions, and what the underlying need is underneath these. On our yoga mats, a great time to do this self-study. Slowly coming up and out of this shape. You've extended your leg long. Slowly draw that left heel back towards you, removing any props. Rock yourself forward into dragon lunge just for a breath. And then we shift the left foot to the back of the mat, lie down onto your bellies. Coming again into Sphinx, elbows forward, or an option to extend up into seal if you like, reaching one hand at a time towards the diagonals of the mat, turning your heels in, your toes out, a little deeper compression to the lower spine. Keep finding a sense of your heart opening and lifting forward. A nice long bit of length up the back of your neck. Gently releasing down to Advasana, taking a rebound left cheek, left ear onto the mat, arms long alongside you, big toes towards one another, heels relaxing wide. Let your eyes close down, take your awareness inward, following the flow of your breath or the movement of energy in your body. We're going to start to prepare for our caterpillar shape. When you're ready, bringing your hands back underneath your shoulders, pressing yourself up to hands and knees. And then slowly bringing your legs around out in front of you. Once again, we'll elevate the hips, bringing a book or a pillow underneath your sitting bones, letting your pelvis tilt forward. The soles of your feet could just rest on the mat, head dropping in between your knees if that feels good as a first variation. If the hamstrings are tight, again, prop them up, propping up your knees. And then finding a nice rounding through your spine, letting your head drop down towards your shins or knees, maybe a block, maybe a pillow underneath your head. This caterpillar shape, beautiful for stimulating the kidneys, for stretching the ligaments of our back, for giving a little massage for our stomach organs. Slowly starting to uncurl your spine, releasing any props. You're going to find a rebound in Shavasana, lying on your back, keeping your legs nice and long. Keep your strap close by you. Just taking a few breaths, lying in your Shavasana. We'll start to move into our next shape, bringing the soles of your feet onto the mat. If you know your hamstrings are a bit tight, you're going to just move into a half happy baby, taking the right hand and holding the outside edge of your foot, or maybe using your strap to help draw that foot down towards you, the right knee down and towards the right armpit. Otherwise, if the legs allow, extending your right heel up towards the sky, finding a nice hamstring stretch, maybe wrapping the strap around your hands, extending your left leg long, or keeping the sole of your left foot on the mat. Keep trying to draw your right hip a little more down towards the front of your mat. Keep your shoulders soft onto your mat, propping up your head if you need. Working here again with this bladder meridian line running down back of the legs. If you're in your half happy baby, just staying in your half happy baby. If you've taken the hamstring stretch, you're going to now take both straps into the right hand and start to open the right leg out towards the right. Keep reaching your left arm back towards the left side of the room as a little counterbalance. Keep grounding your left hip down towards the mat. And try and release the backs of your shoulders down onto the mat. Trying to still keep this posture easeful. And starting to draw your right leg back to center. If you're in your half happy baby, joining us now, extend your leg long. And we're going to take the strap into our left hand and bring our right leg slightly across the body. Maybe a self-adjustment here to keep your right hip dropping down. Just a small action of bringing that right heel over the body, not all the way over just yet. Want to feel a stretch along the outside edge, the right leg, reaching back through the right arm, nice counterbalance. Just here for a minute, breathing, allowing the sensations to move and change. And you can let yourself release into a twist now, taking the strap off your foot. Just allow that right knee to bend, rolling up onto your left hip. You might prop up the right knee if it doesn't come all the way down to the mat. Keep your right fingertips reaching back to the right. Finding a gentle twist. Maybe gazing back to the right. And bringing yourself back to center. Releasing your right leg all the way long. Taking a breath in your Shavasana. Just noticing the difference from one side to the next. And we set ourselves up on the other side, bend both knees. Maybe coming into your half happy baby. If you know the hamstrings are a little tight, using that strap around your left foot. And if the body allows, taking that hamstring stretch, extending your left heel long, Maybe wrapping the strap around your wrists. Option to keep that right foot on the mat, or maybe lengthening your right leg long. Keep dropping your left hip down towards the front of the mat. Try and relax the shoulders, block or pillow underneath your head if you need, if you can feel any tension through your shoulders and neck. Again, drawing left toes towards you. And we'll start to open the left leg out towards the left, taking both straps into the left hand. If you're in your happy baby, just staying there. Know this is challenging, sticking with it. Keep trying to glue the back of your right thigh down onto the mat. Back of the right hip pressing down onto the mat. Right arm reaching back. Left toes turning towards you. And bringing your leg back to center. If you're in happy baby, joining us now, extending that left leg long, taking both straps into your right hand, bringing your left heel slightly across your body, reaching back through your left arm. Keep finding that left thigh bone dropping down and in towards the left hip socket. Try not to lift the left hip up. And we'll release all the way over into our twist, rolling up onto the right hip, letting your left knee bend, reaching your right fingertips, reaching through your left fingertips, maybe turning your gaze back towards your left hand. Final little twist. And we come back to center, bringing that left knee in, followed by the right. Readjust your hips. Give yourself a big hug, drawing knees towards your chest. Taking any final movements, whatever feels good before we set up for final Shavasana. So moving anything out of the way. If you've got a blanket and want to use it, set yourself up, get nice and comfy. Finding your final resting shape. If you're in Shavasana, taking the heels a little wider, rolling shoulder blades underneath you, closing down your eyes. Nothing left to do, just taking this time of rest. letting the benefits of the practice wash through your body. Know yourself so well that you will grow into your wholeness and greatness. Softly bringing your attention back, wiggling your fingers and toes, taking any gentle movements, yawning through the body, reaching your arms up overhead. When you're ready, rolling onto your right side, just allowing your knees to bend, resting using your right arm like a pillow. Taking a few breaths on your side. When you're ready, pressing yourself up to find a comfortable seat, cross-legged or kneeling, maybe a pillow underneath the hips if you like. Rest your hands onto your thighs, take any gentle rolls of your shoulders. We'll take a few final breaths together. Deep inhale. Open the mouth wide. Exhale. Inhale. Open the mouth wide. Exhale. Inhaling. Exhaling. Bringing your hands together at your heart space. A moment to acknowledge the effects of your practice, any changes you've made, noticing your thoughts, how you're feeling now. And thanking one another, thumbs between the eyebrows. We bow. Namaste.